Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome. Hey girl, thank you for tuning in. In today's video, we are talking about financial health and how that correlates to your physical health. We'll talk about a journey to financial freedom. We'll talk about how you can start saving more, how to optimize your saving, and how to become debt-free. First things first, let's define financial freedom. What does it mean to you? You have to decide that. For me, financial freedom looks like having enough investments and having enough savings so I don't have to work a traditional job for the rest of my life. I love my job. I love working in healthcare. I love caring for people. However, having to go in to the office or into the hospital 5 days a week, 6 days a week is exhausting physically and mentally. So a life where I could maybe work part-time and still have enough investments and savings to live a full life. For me, a full life is doing whatever I want, when I want, traveling the world, being able to afford that while not having to rely on my traditional income is financial freedom for me. For you, financial freedom could look very different because we all have different goals. Some people, financial freedom looks like being debt-free. That's okay. You come up with your own definition and you build your life around that definition. So how do you get there? Well, you have to start by setting goals, whether it's buying a house, traveling the world, buying a new car, saving for a wedding, whatever it is, you need to set a goal. Being debt-free also is a really good goal. If you don't have a goal, you have nothing to focus on. Does that make sense? Now, there are so many formulas to financial freedom. If you follow a lot of the financial gurus, you'll know it. Like Dave Ramsey, Ramit Sethi, Bridget Casey. One that really stands out to me is Dave Ramsey and his baby steps. His baby steps are save a $1,000 emergency fund, pay off all your debt, then save up 3 to 6 months of expenses, invest for retirement, save for your children's college, pay off your house, build wealth, and give. These steps are sensible. However, if you know Dave Ramsey, you know his plans are very restrictive and his view on a lot of things are very, they're very conservative. And they also don't leave a lot of room for enjoyment. While I do agree with a lot of his steps, I've also tweaked them to make them my own. The great thing about being an adult is having free will, being able to do whatever you want when you want. Sometimes that's a problem. If someone gives you 7 steps and all 7 don't work for you, take 1 out, take 2 out. Doesn't matter. What's gonna happen? Now, here are my steps to financial freedom. Firstly, did you know that 56% of Americans cannot afford to cover a $1,000 emergency bill? They need a new set of tires, their dog has to go to the vet or something. They are literally that close to being destitute and having no money. To avoid situations like this, you need to save at least 3 to 6 months of emergency expenses. Now, in today's day and age, I know if you live in Canada, then I don't need to tell you all this. Life is so expensive. Groceries, housing, everything is so expensive. And nobody has job security. Even people working in healthcare, the government is trying to cut healthcare. Can you believe that? It's really difficult to save. I know this. It's very hard to see people enjoying their lives and doing whatever they want, and you're over there stuck because you're saving for a goal. It's not enough to just save into a bank account somewhere. You have to put your money somewhere that it's gonna make money for you. And how you do that is high interest savings accounts. So you're gonna take that 3 to 6 months of emergency fund and you're gonna put it in a high yield savings account. There's several high yield savings accounts in Canada, but the one I use is EQ Bank. I really, really love them. I will leave a link down below for you guys to check that out. They are offering, I think, 4%. So if you put $10,000, you're gonna get $400 at the end of the year. I mean, it's free money you didn't have to work for. You could use that $400 for a lot of things. And that $400 continues to earn money on top of it. That's the power of compounding savings. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to be disciplined when it comes to savings. One way to do it is to automate your savings. Maybe you set up a certain amount to come out of your paycheck every 2 weeks. So even if it's $20 every 2 weeks, you're saving something. At the end of the year, with 26 pay periods, you're gonna end up with $520. I think that's still something, especially if you're earning 4% on it. Before you know it, you're going to be at 1,000 and then maybe even 10,000. So a great way to save is to automate, and you have to stick to a budget. I'm sorry, but you have to stick to a budget. There's no way that you're going to be able to live below your means if you don't write down all your expenses and write down your income and see where you can cut. Okay, if you're living alone in a really expensive city, maybe it's time for roommates. Maybe you don't need to buy 2 pairs of jeans this month. Maybe it can wait. Maybe that gadget you saw on TikTok is actually not worth buying. There are so many creative ways to reduce your expenses. Now, moving on to investing. Saving is not enough. You cannot save your way into becoming a millionaire. How do you make your money work even further for you? Out of the high interest savings account, you must invest. There's so many ways to invest. You can invest in businesses, you can invest in real estate, you can invest in the stock market. There's so many ways to invest. If you're not an active investor, you can invest in ETFs, index funds, in the stock market. I use Questrade. You can use Wealthsimple. There's so many other options that you can use in Canada to invest. You could even sign up for accounts that will invest for you. All you have to do is pick your risk tolerance. If you have a low risk, if you have a high risk, these are all things you can punch into a survey and they will create a portfolio for you. But you should be investing. You should be actively looking at index funds, finding a way for your money to make money. I'm telling you, it is not enough for your money to sit in a savings account. Save enough that you feel comfortable to deal with any emergencies, but invest. If you are buying things because of what other people will think, if you're buying a house because of how it will look to other people, you have lost the plot. You should never make a financial decision based on what other people will think or based on how you want others to perceive you. Now let's talk about debt. Debt can really affect your financial freedom. It can weigh you down. Debt is so debilitating, especially when you accrue more of it. It's so easy to go out and take a new credit card. It's so easy to get into credit card debt. It's so easy. Student loan debt, I mean, it's almost unavoidable unless you're from a rich family or you get a really huge scholarship. And even then, getting into a car note, it's almost hard to live life without getting into some kind of debt. I don't like debt. I really don't like it. However, I do see its importance. I do see how it can be a tool. Like if you want to go to school and you don't have the money for it, you're pretty much hooped. You have to take out student loans. It's what you do with that loan that matters. Mortgages are loans for houses. You rack up your credit card to $10,000 and they're charging you 20% a year? That's $2,000 a year. If you are in debt, list them all down. List down every single debt you have. And then list down what the interest rate is. Now, there's different ways to pay down your debt. You could do the avalanche method or you could do the snowball method. Snowball method, I believe, is Dave Ramsey's, where he says that you should start paying your debt from the lowest balance, ignoring the interest rate. Then the avalanche method, which I think is a little more financially sound, is when you pick your debt that has the highest interest rate. So that credit card that's charging you 19.9% interest rate, you pick that one and you pay that one down. And that student loan that's like 2-3%, you pay that one last. I'm 25. I finished university 3 years ago, and I finished with $75,000 of student loan debt. The fact that I was able to take out that much loans in the first place is insane to me. I've since paid it off and I am debt free. Being financially free is such a personal journey. You don't realize it, but your finances and your health are like this, okay? They are 2 peas in a pod. You cannot ignore one and then flourish in the other. If your finances are low, you get stressed, you get anxiety. It really affects your health. So I love you all. I want us all to live a healthy and abundant life. So join me in this journey.